I mean, Jamil, have you seen Amelie before?
I have not, no.
Okay, I thought you may have. I know Devin's never even heard of it, but the
I
pro.
have.
Mhm.
Oh,
Who
there's white
stars?
women in it.
Who? Yes, very cute white
You're
woman too.
not supposed to call me on it, Juwan. Jesus. I seen French movies. I'm trying to
Oh.
think of something French.
Oh God.
James and the Giant Peach. Is that French?
What?
Or was that
Oh,
English?
oh,
That is
Was it?
oh,
English.
I was close.
Mm,
okay.
It's foreign.
yes, it is. I give you that.
Spartacus was made in New Guinea. Does that count?
I'll
Negative.
give it to you.
Oh.
Mm.
But there's a prologue in Amelie, or the end of the prologue is that the outside world seems so dull that Amelie prefers to dream her life until she's old enough to leave. And I kind of felt like that was an analog to what Van was going through, or what Van was longing for, because like you said, Jamil, she has this life in Atlanta. She's a young mother, a single mother at that, even though Ern is he's around, but he's not really around, and he's off doing his own thing. He gets to have his fun life. He gets to be a successful manager now with his cousin, who's a rich rapper, with his friend Darius. She was left alone in Atlanta, just being a single mother, and she wanted to have fun too. And like you said, that she got lost in this fantasy that she was trying to be in Paris, and just kind of like forgot, like you said, about the
She
most
was in the
important thing in life.
Matrix. She
hmm
was in the Matrix.
And also, it kind of goes to that. You know how people say check on your strong friends?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of felt that as well. Like Van has
Exactly.
this. Yeah, we don't really know that much about Van. We don't see her that much in the episodes, either now with this third season, definitely, and also previous seasons, to actually get, excuse me, aligned on what her characterization is. And I believe, I don't know if that's on purpose, or it's just like we gotta have a woman in this, or we're gonna have her do her own thing, and but it's about these three guys as the
You know
core.
what I think?
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, no. I think this kind of was Donald Glover, and we can talk about whether or not it was Johnny Come Lately or not, but I think this might have been his love letter to black women.
You know what? That's a good point. That could be,
Mm-hmm.
it as well, to give her, some agency to live her life, but also see her humanity as well, in those last 5 minutes. And like I said earlier, that hey, she could do weird shit for 35 minutes, like these guys do, and
Mm-hmm.
have her 5 minutes of realness. And I believe it was a thing what the writer said. Let me pull up the exact quote. And she said that she wanted to give Van her own episode and put a fine point on it, but she wanted to end the season on that episode with a feeling that some things have been addressed but not necessarily solved. I don't necessarily think it was earned, pun, no pun intended. I don't think it was earned, because we don't see as much as Van to know who Van is as a person. But I do think that they did allow her to have, they did give it enough nuance where, like you Jamil, it resonated emotionally with you. It resonated emotionally with me. Devin said go jump in the river. So
I
it's
blacked out
But I
that
hope you,
entire conversation.
I hope you kind of understand what we're saying, though, Devin.
mm,
1000%. Moms need time
You,
too. Mama got a life.
mm-hmm.
Just don't fuck
Right.
my the nigga in the kitchen and let him drink all the Kool Aid. If I die, Mama, it's on you.
mm,
what the hell is happening?
I don't
She
know.
ain't seen Baby Boy. Mama got a
Oh,
life
yes, I
too.
have. Oh, okay. Yes, 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 I
Jeez,
have. Okay.
I need both of your black cards to me ASAP.
I seen Baby Boy. Let me see it.
Y'all didn't get the reference I was making.
I tried to forget that movie ever since I saw that nigga Tyrese being birthed as a whole ass man.
Oh,
Okay.
not the part where he slaps the fuck
That
out of
that.
Taraji and then rapes her.
I hate you, Jody.
Right,
Mm,
like we just gloss over that so much from that movie. He literally raped
Yeah,
her.
mm.
he's fucking trash in that movie. That's another reason why I kind of try to
It is a
stop
good
talking
movie
about it.
though. It is a good movie though.
Is it?
Mm,
Is it?
I'm gonna teach you
rest
about
is it.
guns and butter, Jamel.
I've seen Butter.
I don't know what that means.
That's the movie where they Guns and Butter came from Baby Boy, but there's a movie called Butter.
Oh, okay.
Which is about guns. Okay, anyway,
okay.
But there is a post-credit scene, and it's really
what happened?
Okay, so in the post-credit
I walked
scenes,
out of the theater, so I didn't see it.
So we open in the post-credits on a bag that's traveling in a truck. And we see that Ern is back in Atlanta, and he gets that duffel bag from this airport courier. It's like a basic black bag. And Ern is like, I have all my bags. That's not my bag. And the guy doesn't care and says, like, are you Ern? He's like, yeah. Ernest Marks? Yeah. This is your bag. And he's like, well, you have a good night, nigger.
Wait, did he say the N-word?
No.
1,000%.
No, this is,
But I say you can't say that, man. You can't.
the guy is black that gives him the bag. I was making my little running joke.
Okay.
So he opens the bag, and Ern opens the bag. He finds like prescription pills or whatever, a Deftones T-shirt which he keeps, and there's a family portrait of a white family, and in the bag, and Ern just leaves the room. The camera zooms in on the portrait, and it reveals that the white man in the picture is White Ern, who we previously White Ern. So White Ern is named Ernest Marks, who also lives in Atlanta. And he's been previously seen in the Three Snaps episode and the Big Payback, where he unalived himself in that episode. But if you remember from that episode, that he told Marshall that the airport lost his bag. So this is actually his bag that this Ernest Marks ended up getting. And that was the end of the episode proper. Okay. Before we get into it, we do have a little bit of feedback. Before I get into that, this episode is called Tarrare, which, like I said before, is a real person. Tarrare was a French showman and a soldier known for his unusual appetite and eating habits. He was able to eat vast amounts of meat. He was constantly hungry. He would eat any and everything. He lived with prostitutes coming up. He would do shows where he would swallow corks, stones, live animals. I believe he ate a cat. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, he ate eels, live cats, snakes, lizards, puppies, whole eels. But he was actually an underweight person. And I believe there was something as well that he was used by the French army. It was like a real fascinating story. I would look it up. I think what they did was, I think what the writer said they wanted to do was kind of like show something about appetites or how we are hungry for something new or whatever. He was also accused of eating a baby. So that's where that came from. That was a true story. He was accused of eating a baby. But yeah, I found that fascinating. And listeners, if you want to hear more, if you're interested in hearing more about the story of Tarrare, you can once again go to www.audibletrial.com/edit it out, and you just look up Tarrare, and you can find many podcasts on Audible that tell that story better than I just did. But yeah, it's really a dope story. So we do have some feedback. So the first feedback I'm going to read comes from the Q&A off of Spotify. It was, have you ever known or encountered someone who was passing, even regardless of the shade of black, aka Candace Owens? So Shanna says, hell nah, and also corrects me about Europeans. I said Europeans are she said they're classic whites. And Candace says that no, she has not, but she's obsessed with passing movies and documentaries. It is really intriguing how some people can choose their race and culture, but they are never fully satisfied with their choice. So Candace, I'm sure you love that movie on Netflix. Yes, thank you very much, Shanna and Candace, for that.
I do have more feedback too.
Oh, okay.
Yes, our resident Jewish lawyer. But go ahead, Juwan. I'm gonna let you finish.
All right. The poll on Spotify was, will you be joining us for our coverage of P-Valley? And results were, hell yeah, I'm down in the valley. Hell yeah, down in the valley when them girls get naked. Hell no, I don't watch that smut. And what is P-Valley? 100% they're gonna be joining us for P-Valley. So I'm excited.
All right. Let's do it. Let's do
And
it.
Jamel, go ahead and have Marcus cuss me out for not knowing lawyer shit.
Okay. So he wanted me to tell you guys L'chaim and Shalom.
L'chaim.
So basically he said his big takeaway from the episode. He had a whole bunch of thoughts, so I'm gonna just kind of consolidate them. But he definitely said that Donald Glover made an attempt to dive into Van this episode. And he said it kind of reminded him, and I agree with this, of the season finale of, I think, a season 4 finale of Insecure when Tiffany went missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like all season, you could tell that something was up with her. And with Tiffany's case, it was postpartum. With Van's case, we already talked about it. But she was kind of in the background and they weren't really paying attention. And then she just dipped and they had to go find her. So this was similar, only Ern, who, was looking for her, wasn't able to go find her. So they basically had to write in other characters to find her.
That's a great point. Also, I would say that we actually care about Tiffany, not about this character on this show. But that's a great point. My black Jewish lawyer.
To your point, Devin, Marcus said that honestly he thought that Donald Glover kind of tried to write himself out of a corner, or rather the writers tried to write themselves out of a corner because they realized that Van wasn't fully fleshed out. And they saw the criticism, so they tried to write themselves out of that corner. Namely, she hasn't been written well because we don't understand her, and we don't understand her because she doesn't understand herself, which can work as long as when she reemerges next season, she is better defined. But that's what it looks like to him. And it also looks like that they try to write themselves out of the Van hole, like I just said. Because they basically wrote her out of the script by having her and Ern break up and then having the team go on tour, leaving her back home. So they had to find a way to get her back into the story and write through the fact that they hadn't done a good enough job defining her. And then obviously doing so through the Tarrare reference was interesting and frightening and on brand. L'chaim.
All right, thank you very much, Marcus, for that. I do want you,
my nigga lawyer.
Yeah, I do want you to hit me up for We Own This City because we got one more episode of that left, and these legal scenes, I don't know what the fuck I be talking about, even though I do all the research. But thank you again, Marcus, for that. We got some other feedback from friend of the show, Candace, as well. She sent the email. And she asked me not to read it on the show because it is long, but I'm gonna power through it. But some of it is relevant as well. And also,
Candace is an educator, so I already know.
Right. And she says that every time she gets ready to send us an email, the new episode has already come out, and she needs to add something. Which technically, if we did record yesterday, she would have missed the deadline. So you just made it. So she says, y'all, the whole time I watched episode 7, couldn't wait to hear what y'all had to say. This episode is fodder for conversation. It was my favorite non-earn episode so far. Such a thought-provoking twist on the black nanny trope. Black women nurture everyone. Black women invite everyone to the gathering. Black people make everyone feel at home. This episode also speaks to how people never really see the help as people with their own lives until we are forced to. This is a case of nice, harmless white people who live life with blinders on. Definitely not allies. And that was for the Train to the Bone episode. Chet Hanks, I guffawed. I have to know what was said in that casting convo between Chet and the Glover brothers. I need to know. I must know. The whole funeral scene was hilarious. These white parents have no idea who their son is, and to find themselves at a loss for how to handle it. He is a stranger to them, but it's clear that Sebastian and Sylvia were connected. Thus, that family photo of the two of them taunted the parents for not being there. It begs the question, what determines your culture? Because that baby was Trini to the bone. That's a good point. I think they kind of touched on this in these episodes as well, like what does define your culture. They definitely did that in episode 9. Okay. So she backs up to episode 6.
So those parents were trash.
Yeah. She goes back to episode 6. Now I'm on the hunt for a Nigerian restaurant near me so I can DoorDash some jollof rice.